What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Faggot ass, punk ass, pussy ass, bitch ass, nigga! You got a problem with that, nigga?
Hey yo, they open up the cage and let the beast out. Neck going chilly, so I brought the heat out. At the arena, 10 shows down. After party, VIP taking hoes down. Betting wars, Def Jam, Motown. Word is, I'm in the scope, I've been that shit, man, I've been the weapon. I am that kid, this is Lils and I am legend. Bell peasant, crown fit the new king. On my way to the throne, walking with a new queen. Blue still Lils, hitman for hire. Beat on chopping block, dates past expired. Clock, shells pop, body drop, solve situation. Duct tape, plastic bag, low acid, cream made them. I wrote this last night, something exclusive. See me in something exclusive. Beside me, something exclusive. Smoking something exclusive. How about looking exclusive? I'm that new nigga now, something exclusive. I wrote this last night, something exclusive. See me in something exclusive. Beside me, something exclusive. Smoking something exclusive. How about looking exclusive? I'm that new nigga now, something exclusive. I come through, something real stupid. Inside's gray, outside real bluish. You ain't heard of me, I see y'all watch the news. This that real nigga shit, I don't come from YouTube. I'm that new dude for the new school. Tell Duke stop frontin' for why shoot dude. This that new groove, I'm that new Snoop. I make Def Jams like Russell, classical, lyrical. I swear right hand on the Bible. Same time, left hand on the rifle. Dead niggas can't defend life. Besides, you can't breathe with a hole in your windpipe. Disrespectful, I'm the one fucking my friend wife. IQ, I see through you niggas with 10 sights. This the insight of a G life. Married to the game, but I treat it with the street life. I wrote this last night, something exclusive. See me in something exclusive. Beside me, something exclusive. Smoking something exclusive. How about looking exclusive? I'm that new nigga now, something exclusive. I wrote this last night, something exclusive. See me in something exclusive. Beside me, something exclusive. Smoking something exclusive. How about looking exclusive? I'm that new nigga now, something exclusive. Drive-by music, real shit I
What's up? Black Raspberry Radio is back in effect, and I know I've been at a little hiatus, but due to some technical difficulties, my man Reggie T, my man Sake, he's on vacation right now, so he'll be back real soon. I'm happy to be here. Let me. It's been a minute. I supposed to have some guests, and it's some humanly shit. So some situations just pop off where your guests can't come, so you really can't get mad at that. But sometimes I guess you gotta have a backup plan and invite 2 motherfuckers up to the show, just in case if one motherfucker don't come to the show. So it's all good. Handle your business, take care of them babies, and maybe next time, I get, my 1-2 punches. That's Curry Lils and my man Keith Hardy. I always gotta support my brothers. I'm a little older than them, but I always took upon that big brother role. Like you being a hip hop star and him being an R&B artist. It's like y'all the best 2 people that I have had that experience with, that crush groove experience. I'm 46 years old, so I'm kind of old. I'm still young, but I'm kind of old, and that element of things. I'm gonna jump into some politics. Donald Trump, he's still not going to jail, and they didn't find anything on him. Through the report, if the Russians leaked out some emails about Hillary Clinton running with the KKK back in the day, so be it. She used to fuck with the KKK back in the days, And back in the days when Bill Clinton was in office, she was calling blacks and Latinos super predators then. So if they re-released information that was already there, and it's like a lot of black folks, y'all get blindsided by going Democrat, and it ain't gonna be like that. But look who got in office. You got a dude that's a straight Aryan with his shit, and at least he's up front with his politics. So I commend Donald Trump on that for being straightforward with his shit. But you know, it's a new day and it's a new time because, believe it or not, you know, even the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, if it was somebody in the Nation of Islam that has a kidney that could fit in that KKK man's body, that kidney could go in that body, whether you black or white. So it's like, you know, the human thing is, you know, we not barbarians and we not barbers, or as you know, when you read those you go to English literature class and you read Hobbes and Rawls and all these other people, they give a description of Africa as a bunch of fucking savages, and it's like, I don't like that shit, you know. But the Game of Thrones, I binge watched the Game of Thrones, and I'm a, like, connect like with Africa to the Game of Thrones. It's like I can actually see how Europe honestly conquered Africa and India and Asia, because they manipulated that sword. They manipulated their iron. You know, when they came back down from that mountain, they came back with fucking vengeance, that, you know, some barbaric shit. And looking at the Game of Thrones, that gave me an explanation on why Christopher Columbus, he tried to go around Africa to get to India. He's like, I'm not going to cut through Europe with all that shit that was going on. That was some real, you know, real barbaric shit. But the Game of Thrones, shout out to HBO for the Game of Thrones, because that shit is like a European Wire, or a medieval fucking Soprano, and the storyline was fucking serious. And them queens, I love y'all. That Dragon Queen, that other bitch that was in 300, her fine self. Y'all did a good job. I really give HBO for spending all that money, which they said that was like the highest per budget spent. And it was well fucking worth it. I mean, the whole shit, them dragons, that Night King motherfucker, they did some a real good job mixing medieval shit with some Walking Dead shit, because them zombies was about it, you know, chasing motherfuckers down. What else? That Wu-Tang documentary, I'm gonna touch that. It was 4 episodes on Showtime of that Wu-Tang documentary, and I think that they did a marvelous fucking job. And and it's like a shout outs to the motherfuckers that had the video, the ones that was actually there, you know, when Protect Your Neck started, and when Raekwon and them did Cream. For the person who had that video camera, and you're right there, and you had Steve Rifkin, the white dude that started Loud Records, and like at that very beginning you were there, and y'all recorded that shit. That really gave some real authenticity to the story, because you actually seen the visual from, you know, from back in the days. And I like that shit, man. I always said, Enter the 36 Chambers, Return to the 36 Chambers, the Gravediggers album, the Cuban Links album, the Iron Man album, all the way back to the Forever album and Capadonna's album. So it's like the Wu-Tang was generating money just as much as Death Row or Bad Boy was, you know, generating the money. I'm gonna touch on this right quick. You know, I was talking to my friend, and I probably said this a couple of podcasts ago, and I was talking about Kool G Rap. How Kool G Rap was so far ahead of his time in, I guess, quote unquote, the gangster rap of the East Coast, and you know, those late 1980s, that 86, 87, 88, 89, 90 rap, that Kool G Rap was ahead of his time, and you know, and spitting his shit, and got caught up in the whirlwind with, you know, with because he was signed to Cold Chillin', but Cold Chillin' had his album going through Warner Brothers, and at that time Warner Brothers got into a beef with Ice-T, Tupac, and Death Row, where Cold Chillin' had to push that album, the album that had Ill Street Blues. That album even had fucking Scarface and Ice Cube on the album. It was an excellent album. Sir Jinx did the album. The dude that did Ice Cube's, you know, America's Most Wanted. And as a matter of fact, Sir Jinx is Dr. Dre's cousin. If you've seen Straight Outta Compton, you'll see that part when Dr. Dre and Ice Cube is in the aunt's house, and that guy that did with those glasses, his name is Sir Jinx. But he did Kool G Rap's album. He did Kool G Rap's whole album. If it was 13 or 14 songs on that album, I think Sir Jinx did like 12 of those songs on that album. But like I said, the Wu-Tang Clan, Death Row, and Bad Boy was more or less at that time in that 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. They was running the rap where Nas' album did come out, that first Illmatic album, but Wu-Tang and Ready to Die came, so it kind of hindered that shit a little bit. But when It Was Written came out, now It Was Written with some shit. Now that album went platinum. That's one of those real good. And Mobb Deep, excuse me, Mob. I'm so sorry for not mentioning y'all, because I remember when I seen Shook One's that video. I was high and I was drunk, and this is my first beginning stages of drinking and smoking. And that rhyme, Prodigy's rhyme, that shit was crazy. And you yellowback niggas, such and such, blah blah blah, son and Shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. And it's like, I'm so high and drunk. I remember walking to the TV and like, yo, you don't know nothing about me. My mother like, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm like, Ma, it's just his rhyme. It just got me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going through a situation where my house got hit up, had got shot in at the time. And it's like, how the fuck you know what the fuck going on? Just, you know, but that means that your rhyme was real fucking good that I got up and was speaking to the fucking TVs. Rest in peace to Prodigy. I love Hell on Earth. I love Murder Music, and you know, I really commend Mobb Deep for also holding down that East Coast rap. And also my man Fat fucking Joey Crack. I ain't gonna forget Joey Crack. I'm so glad that Joe, I just was thinking about you the other day. I'm like, Joe got some fucking, Joe had to mix it up when he went down south and got Lil Wayne, did that Make It Rain shit. He did that Ashanti shit. He did a R. Kelly shit. He did the lean back shit, and I'm like, I'm so happy for Crack, for Joey Crack, for doing what, you know what I'm saying, doing what he do and kept his hip hop alive. I'm gonna jump back to the Wu-Tang and that situation. I want to talk about R&B. I do not like nothing that's out. I do not like auto-tune singing songs. You cannot sing at my fucking funeral if you are an auto-tune singer. And I always tell my man Keith Harley, I'm like, yo, just me, like, in my Andre Harrell, in my Russell Simmons body that I have, I just can't, if you're not sounding like Patti LaBelle or Fantasia at the funeral, and you could, like, I hate that motherfucker in that casket, but this bitch just made me cry. Or this man just made me cry. I like shit like that. That you gotta be a funeral singer. So somebody came out and said, well, what about Michael Jackson? I said, Michael Jackson was an entertainer. Michael Jackson, you had Thriller, and Michael Jackson, you had Living Off the Wall, and you know, you had certain albums, but Michael Jackson, you are not a fucking funeral singer. You's a good entertainer. I would not want you singing at my motherfucking funeral. Luther Vandross could sing at my funeral. I'm going to bring it to the barbecue. I'm going to leave the funeral and I'm going to go to the barbecue. So we still having this conversation. It was like, am I going to play fucking Beat It? Or I'm going to play Luther Vandross? I'm playing Luther Vandross at my fucking barbecue. I'm going to play Rick James at my barbecue. I love Michael Jackson, but I'm not putting Thriller on. I'm not going to put Beat It on. You know what I'm saying? And they're good songs. Well, you know, Michael Jackson, he sold a gazillion records and he owned all his publishing. That don't got shit to do with him being a singer. He's a good singer. But do I want to hear him at a funeral? Do I want to hear Whitney Houston at a funeral? And Whitney Houston could sing. I don't want to hear her at a funeral. I just can't. Let me get off the music right quick. We went on to jump to I got a scenario. When a friend that you fuck with pulls out a fucking gun on you, shit like that. That somebody that you never had a fucking argument with and you get into a little argument with a motherfucker, and a motherfucker will run to get a fucking gun. We don't jump past a fist fight, but you will run to get a gun. I'm not, nothing that happened to me or anything like that, but I seen a scenario like that. Like, what kind of shit is that? Then that means that you never really was a person's friend. But you know what? I'm gonna jump off that bullshit. I just wanted to get that off. I want to jump back to the Wu-Tang Clan. I want to jump back to that documentary, and again, they did such a good job. Like all the way to like when they got to episode 3, and they talking about Old Dirty Bastard. You know what I'm saying? To Old Dirty Bastard dying, and you know he had this problem, he had his demons. He overdid his shit. I can understand where a person wants to break away from the pack. Because the RZA was like, I'm not holding nobody, but RZA wanted the whole ODB. And it's like, damn, Dirty, you came in this shit with me in the jizz. So it was kind of hard, like they was talking about the RZA's brother Devon. And, I guess Devon was getting too much money. He's the manager. The fuck, the manager got to get his cut too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, without Devon and the other dude that put up his money. And it's like, I always looked at those names on those Wu-Tang albums. I'm like, well, who the fuck is these other people's on this album? I mean, other than Steve Rifkin's name, or you looking at Raheem's, Robert Diggs' name, looking at that name, like, who the fuck is these other people? Those was the other people that put up the money to make everything, make everything happen. And it's like, it was so good that, like they said, they had a deal with, these motherfuckers was across all over the planet as far as getting record deals. You had Method Man at Def Jam, you had Earl Dirty Bastard at Elektra, you had Raekwon that stayed that loud, you had Ghostface fucking Killer over at Sony, you had Capadonna over there at Sony. So it worked out real good. And I always say, well, Biggie Smalls, the Millionaire, the Mansion, the Yacht, the 2 weed spots, I love Big, but I think maybe individually, Biggie could destroy them individually. But as the clan on one dude, no. The clan was swarm. The Killer Bees was swarm. Maybe my man, that Ghostface Killer. I love Ghostface Killer and I love Raekwon. I love Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, and the Jizza. It's like the one thing I love about the clan mix it up with their artists that they have, and some of the songs that they come out with, like them shits just be so, they be so hard. They be so hard. Let me see, before we go to break. Who is the greatest hip hop artist of all times? Some people always say that you just can't really say it, and it's like, if you take out the money. I mean, the money means a lot, but if you take out the money, or you know what, I'm gonna say the cloth. Now, who's a part of the cloth? Curtis Blow. I'm old enough to remember Curtis Blow. I'm old enough to remember Spoonie G, because those is my sister's records. Curtis Blow, Spoonie G, of course, Kool Moe D, but it's this nigga named DJ Run from motherfucking Queens, which they call him, a.k.a. the son of Curtis Blow. I'm going to go with Run. I'm going to go with KRS-One. I'm going to go with Coogee Rap. I'm going to go with the God MC, me, J-Hova, because Jay-Z is fucking nice. Biggie Smalls, all of them, all the way up to these new rappers that's out here now. I probably can't really get into what you're saying because I'm an old man with I'm a balding old man. I'm not out there in the street no more. I'm just an old man that just go to work and take my fat ass home. I'm just happy now in this day, in this era, that the rappers now are getting fucking paid. Where, like Jay-Z says, I'm here to do this for the Cold Crush, and I'm here to rape this shit because y'all didn't pay the artists before us. And it's like, I'm just happy, you got the Spotify, you got the Tidal, you got the YouTube, you got the Pandora. You have so many internet stations where today is my choice. Yo, son, you ain't hear that new hot shit on Hot 97? No, I have internet radio. And when I punch in Coogee Rap, I'm listening to Coogee Rap and songs like Coogee Rap to my ear. So it's like today's technology is much better than what it is. And if you know what you're signing, you are going to get paid. Even when you hear people talk that shit, I'm not going to sign a 360 deal. Listen, nigga, if a record company throws you $10 million out there, physical copy CDs are not sold today. Back in my time, when you look at Death Row, when they were selling that, when All Eyes on Me came out, and that album sold 693 or 697,000 copies that first week, that fucking CD was $34.99. $37.99 at HMV Records and at Tower Records. It was so much money at that time. But in this day and time, streaming's the new shit. I'm looking at, I was glancing through the internet, and they said Tiger went gold in a day because a whole bunch of people listened to his album all the way straight through. So RIAA, the record company that measures sound scan, whatever, they just measure and calculate this thing wrong. So it's like I remember I got into an argument about Cardi B. They said every song on Cardi B's album went platinum due to the streaming, how the way the streaming thing is. But the moral of the story is today, a lot of you young people, y'all getting paid, and I'm happy. And we're gonna go to a song. Hold on, let me cue it up for the people. Go to my main instrumental, 9/8 Bullshit by Michael Summers from Howard Projects. And we are back. The song that you have just heard was 9/8 Bullshit by my man Michael Summers from Barcelona Projects, from Howard Projects in Brownsville. Sending a shout out to him because he got a lot of beats, and the people, y'all need to go check him because his beats is real good. Abortion. They're saying that they do not want these women to get these abortions after 8 weeks because they said it's a heartbeat. Versus, I can't take care of this baby and the government is going to take care of this baby. Versus a woman that's on drugs doing what she's doing, destroying this baby before this baby is even born. As they say that drugs and smoking and beer is, I think that you should have a woman to have a right to her choice. But I think that when that heart start beating and that baby has, you know, I've heard in my day in the 90s, I swear to God, maybe 80s, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, I've heard women getting abortions maybe at 5-6 months. Like, yo, that's a whole fucking baby. Like, the doctor, how did you stick those seaweed sticks up there at Parent hand, what's that? Parent Plan Hood, whatever what that shit is. It's like, damn. You know, that's kind of, you know, it's just kind of crazy. It's like, my thing is just put on a fucking condom and don't have these kids. Don't go through with it, because a lot of those women that's down there in the South, y'all gonna run to those states where they got those abortions and get them. You're gonna run to a Democratic state. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's with the Democrats, you're gonna run up here to New York. You're gonna run up to like Illinois and Chicago if you down there in Kentucky, and especially fucking Alabama and Missouri and Georgia. It's like, and now you got a lot of film production saying, well, you know what? We're going to protest and not going down there and shooting our movies down there. It's like, wow. So now money is playing the part. All right, you don't let these women get their abortions, no tax revenues for you. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, that's crazy. It's really crazy. Let me jump back. David Ortiz, Big Papi. They showed the fucking guy come up behind him and shoot him in his back. And you know Facebook, because Facebook is the news source of what's the name, because CNN and everybody dumped their shit off through Facebook. They said that he was fucking somebody else. He was having sex. Excuse me, Mom, because my mother's watching this show. Said that he was having sex with somebody else's wife. And the guy that you having the sex with, he's a drug lord. Not a drug dealer, but a drug lord in the Dominican Republic. Like, come on, Big Papi. Like, come on, man. And it's like, you better be lucky that the guy didn't shoot you in your neck, or the guy didn't shoot you in your back of your head, because he had a clear shot. You know, TMZ, they get the footage quick. And they show dude hit, you know, he got hit in his back. But the people caught him and started fucking him up. So, you know, I hope Big Papi has a speedy recovery. Hold on, at this very moment, what's the name is going on? I think that Drake probably doing his dance, because Toronto is gonna fuck around and beat Golden State. And it's like, I ain't want to feel sorry for Golden State, but your bench is fucked up. Your bench players that y'all have not run Steve Kerr. Shame on you, Steve Kerr. Shame on you. That you should have been fucking. I hate NBA teams that run with those 5 and 6 players, and when 3 of those players get fucked up, or that one main player get fucked up, and now Toronto done study how the way your offense is. Don't let those motherfuckers pull up for the 3-point shot. Just try to do your defense, run over there, and you know what I'm saying? Just don't make them put up that 3-point shot. Now the game plan is on y'all asses. Now y'all looking suspect. Now y'all motherfuckers really need Kevin Durant to come back, and it ain't gonna happen. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard for, you know what I'm saying, your first year on that team, and y'all about to win this shit today, because I don't really think that Golden State is gonna make a comeback. Gentrification. My mama is always getting these things in the mail about, do you want to sell your house? And I'm pretty sure I have said this on a couple of, you know, podcasts, you know, prior to it. And I want to send a shout out to everybody that when they turn that corner down Blake and you turn into Herzu and you see me sitting on that porch, you get out that car and you hug me, and you know, because a lot of my friends, a lot of my best friends, a lot of my childhood friends, those friends that you say, yo, that's my cousin right there, knowing it ain't your cousin, but that's my cousin, that they stop by and, you know, they come and check me, because it's like sooner or later we about to sell a house, and it's like I'm kind of getting kind of tired of this Brownsville shit. It's like I want to live out the rest of my life in peace. I got gray hair. I mean, the gray hair don't got shit to do with it, but I just want to raise my grandkids. I just want to live in fucking peace. I'm don't retiring from the drama, and I don't even got no drama. But it's like for some reason drama just always follows with somebody else's shit that you don't really got nothing to fucking do with, and especially at this age and at this time. So, you know, gentrification is crazy because a lot of the buildings, Brownsville is getting built up. If a motherfucker went to jail in 2000 and you caught your body, or you did crazy armed robberies and you got caught with a brick, 125 grams of cook up and a gun, and you got sentenced to 350 months and some crazy shit like that, and you come in Brownsville now, you're gonna break down and you're gonna cry. Because you probably stashed maybe $1 million in a lot. Like, when I come home, ain't nobody gonna find this money that I done stashed. Nah, nigga, somebody did, because they built either they built over that shit, or somebody found the bag and then they built over that shit, because there's not a lot of lots in Brownsville anymore. So it's like, all right, it's not a lot of lots in Brownsville anymore, so a lot of people should not be in the shelter. There shouldn't be a big shelter system in fucking New York City, especially if you done lived in New York City. You should not be fucking homeless. That's how sometimes I can respect those other countries where the state just come over and just seize every fucking thing. Like a lot of people who have their money in those banks and shit, and they like, nah, it's state owned now. Like the dude from Blow. At the end of Blow, when that motherfucker like, yeah, I got 60 or 70 or I got $100 million stashed down here, they're like, nah, the state done took over that shit. That shit belongs to the government. It's like certain shit in human life, I can honestly say the state need to take over, because you look at New York City as a fucking whole. Gentrification is everywhere. It's not just black people getting moved out. You go down Fulton Street. Fulton Street is not Fulton Street no more. They pushed those Arabs out of here that was double pricing those fucking sneakers that they were selling, which I was still fucking with my Tim, so I didn't give a fuck about a overpriced pair of phones or a overpriced pair of Michael Jordans. So fuck y'all. I don't really give a fuck about that. But it's just the fact that gentrification and building, the rebuilding of New York City is so big. It's like, well, where the fuck are these people going to stay at? Especially down there near Fort Greene. When you just looking in that area of the fort and you looking at those big buildings, like before you going on to the Brooklyn Bridge, where the fuck did y'all come from? Where? I mean, maybe you came from another state. Maybe you came from another country. Or whatever the case may be, like, where the fuck did you come from? That these buildings, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gonna fill all these buildings and everybody is got 7 racks or 8 racks a month in rent, everybody. Oh, you know what? You're gonna destabilize some of the apartments and we're gonna price these at $3,000. Everybody don't got $3,000. Oh, you know what? We're not gonna put, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to put the degenerates in this building. Maybe we put them on the other side. It's like, it's just fucked up. The whole, this is some capitalism as a whole is really some systematical bullshit. Then you got the Negro that's on, but I ain't fucking with y'all no more. I ain't holding, you know what I'm saying? I ain't holding y'all down. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? This is all mine. I done made it. I'm living my best life. This is this new word that people got. I'm living my best life. But somebody put on Facebook, no, you living your best fucking lie. Somebody put it on Facebook. And it just, you know, it just made a lot of sense. But gentrification is kind of bad. I'm gonna jump to Mike Tyson. And, you know, it was a rumor that Mike Tyson punched out Whack 100. And I'm like, what could Whack 100 possibly could have said to really tick him off, or if it actually happened? I'm like, wow, I always said I want to get a chance to interview Mike Tyson, because it's like, I got pictures of your friends. One of your friends pulled up to my crib the other day. And I'm talking about one of those friends that you peed in his bed. That friend. You 13, 12. Before you even went into that home, sporadically you coming back down from the Catskills back to Brownsville. I'm talking about those friends. Like Mike had mad friends because Mike is really originally from Bed-Stuy, truthfully. And I always wondered, like, yo, when I was looking at Spike Lee movie, Do the Right Thing, I'm like, wow, why do Bed-Stuy have a Mike Tyson, mural there? It's like he's actually from Bed-Stuy, but he moved to Brownsville, he moved to Amboy Street, and it's like, Mike, you met some friends that you peed in their bed. That means that your mom's probably wasn't home, or you spend the night at a friend's crib, because there's a lot of niggas that's 55, 56, 57. Yeah, Mike, yeah. He peed in my bed. It's like, Mike, you didn't look out for those dudes. I don't know if it's that when crack cocaine hit, because I had heard some stories that when crack hit and you just came out of the Olympics, so we talking about 84, 85, because Mike was in the Olympic trials 84. 85, 86, right around that time of going pro. They said that he came and tried to snatch niggas, but niggas was going through their things. But it's like, damn, Mike, you could have did something, because I be listening to your podcast, because you did a podcast with my man B Real from Cypress Hill, and you said that your kids always want to visit Brownsville, and you said that you told your kids you don't want to visit there, that's a bad place. And B Real was like, well, gentrification changed everything. He was like, yo, I don't care. It's a bad place. So it's like maybe Brownsville rubbed you in a way that when you finally got your chance to get out, you never came back. And it's like, I have empathy for that shit. I can understand that. Let me get this bag and I'm getting the fuck out of here. And whoever I want to take care of, I'm going to take care of, because I'm the motherfucker in this boxing ring getting punched in my body, getting punched in my head. So it's like, and biting motherfuckers' ears off. So you got that right to choose what you want to do with your money, but we still love you, because my mom's is your #1 fan, because she got a fucking mural in the basement of Mike Tyson. I remember, before we go to break, I remember the night when Buster Douglas knocked your ass out, and we all upstairs in that room, because I was one of the first niggas with cable. We had wireless cable, overcharged wireless cable, maybe 11 or 12 or 15 stations, and that was including China 2, 4, 5, and fucking 11, and paying boohoo money for HBO, ESPN, and Nickelodeon, and the USA channel and TBS, because I was watching WCW wrestling. And my mother cried when Mike was going down, because we was in there screaming. My mother was like, shut that damn noise down. And like, Mom, Mike is about to lose. Mike going down, Ma. Mike going down. But we want to what's in that? I'm going to cue this thing up right here. We were saying one of my friend's songs that I'm trying to push. Let me go with Yo Q. This is a good instrumental too. And I'm back, people. You just heard my man Yo Q one of my childhood friends, I probably peed in his bed as a kid. You know, he's down there in North Kakalaka. One of my friends that left out of New York City in 9-5, and he ain't never come back. He like, nigga, I'm tired of Brownsville and I'm gone, and I ain't coming back. And went down south and made a life for himself. And I give you a fucking hand clap for, even when shit got tough, you didn't have to fucking come back. You made, you know, you stayed your ass down there since 9-5, and this is fucking 2019. So shout out to Peanut, TJ, and Quincy. Right quick before I go, let me touch back on. I want to go back to that R&B again. And what was like my favorite albums? Going to the Soul Shack on picking album. What albums did I buy at that time? Of course, when I always talk about that Anita Baker shit, you know, Caught in the Rapture of Love, you know, Anita Baker's first album. But I remember when the New Edition thing was happening, running to go to get the Any Heartbreak album, running to get the Bobby Brown album. Then BBD came, ran and got that fucking album. Yo, I remember the first time I watched when Donnie Simpson, and it's crazy because Ricky Bell mentioned it in a Vlad interview. He said that the video came out before the, you know what I'm saying, before they actually started pushing out the singles to, you know what I'm saying, to you know, to the album. And I was in my, like I said, BET was another one of the channels that they was overpricing the motherfucker for, that was on that wireless cable. And Donnie Simpson said, we got a new song from the group BBD. And that shit, and we in that crib, he's like, yo, turn that shit on. And girl, I must on you. It was like, oh my fucking goodness. Now this is 90. That shit came out March, April of 1990. I'm in the 11th grade, going to school in Manhattan, and that was the talk at the lunch table. I remember having 2 cheeseburgers, those cookies, French fries, and chocolate milk, but we was talking about that fucking song Poison. Like, yo, what the fuck did we witness last night? And hip hop smoothed out on the R&B pill, whatever how the way they said that shit. But you know what I'm saying? Shout out to BBD, shout out to Johnny Gill, shout out to that whole movement, because it's like New Edition was like an R&B version to the Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had their own shit. When I guess Bobby Brown would be the old dirty bastard if it was the Clan. But I love you, Bobby Brown, because you know you put out those good things. Keith Sweat's first album, Make It Last Forever. That album right there, that was a classic. That was a classic album. God's album stayed on the charts like for 2 weeks. And I remember when we first came here, Mav, we was talking about You Can Call Me Fucking Crazy. It's sang by fucking Al P. Shaw. And I'm saying to myself all these years, never went to the credits to read that. I'm like, Aaron Hall, who the fuck singing that? Teddy Riley don't sound like that. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Teddy Riley putting You Can Call Me Crazy on that album. Shout out to Andre Harrell for Uptown Records. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Shout out to Russell Simmons. Shout out to Rick fucking Rubin. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, I remember Dame Dash was talking about, you know, culture vulture. And it's like, some people, bro, son, B, as they say in Harlem, B.O.B. Some of those people that you said, Rick Rubin, no, you cannot say that about him. And the motherfucking dude, Leo Cohen, you cannot do that to him, because you know what was crazy was, he said in an interview, he told Ron, he said, Ron, the Beastie Boys and L. Cool J was doing some shit at Columbia University and they was using their room, and he said that he told Ron to say, this is my motherfucking house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at Crush Groove and you hear Ron say, we done had a whole lot of superstars on this stage tonight. It's like fucking Leo Cohen, the Jewish man, told him, you know, told him to say that, and it got coined real right and real good, and it fitted the whole Def Jam thing, the RAL associated labels, EPMD, Public Enemy, L. Cool J. Even when they brought Nice and Smooth over, because Sleeping Bag Records went under, and they took those motherfuckers off that label. But for some reason, the West Coast was running shit where Def Jam was going broke, where the Method Man and Warren G, what was the shit, the Year of the Man promotion that came out in 94, and Warren G helped put Def Jam back. And if Def Jam was a burnt cake, they came up the Murdergram shit, Jay-Z, DMX, and motherfucking Ja Rule. Jay-Z's a billionaire. And I'm happy for the God MC. I'm happy that, you know, I'm happy. Sometimes I have questions like, yo, why Jay? Why you haven't gone back over there to Marcy Projects and, you know what I'm saying, helped out with people over there? But do you look at the Nipsey situation? It's like, I can understand why. And it's like, now you a billionaire. You most definitely right now, God MC, you can't do shit but just throw bread over to those motherfuckers over there in Marcy Projects, because it's not like you could be posted up because you got a couple of million. You are worth $1 billion fucking dollars. That's a lot of money. And I'm so happy for you. And wherever Biggie Smalls is looking up from hell, if Biggie Smalls is looking for, you know what I'm saying, looking down at you from the heavens and looking up you from the hells, or whatever way you want to say that, he is proud that that baton was passed to you. Because I love Jay-Z, but I think that if Biggie Smalls would have lasted a while, if Biggie Smalls was able to put out fucking singles off of Life After Death, remember it was 24 motherfucking singles on there, the album probably could have lasted almost 2 years with singles and B-sides. You know what I'm saying? So it, everything happens for a reason. You know, Scottie Pippen couldn't do without Michael Jordan. So, you know, shout out to Jay-Z on your billion. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, peace, brother. Shout out to Dr. Dre with his beat situation. Shout out to all, you know what I'm saying, to all those that kept real cool, calm, and collected with shit, and you didn't draw none of that bullshit with you, because I love you, Dame Dash. I love you, Suge Knight, but y'all attitudes fucked up y'all business. And I can understand y'all in saying that you don't want to be a slave to the rhythm, to certain things, but it's just like, fuck, y'all are some geniuses. That it's like this: no Dame Dash, no Jay-Z. No Suge Knight, Dr. Dre would have slipped into wherever, because he wasn't getting paid. He would have slipped in a depression with Ruthless. He wasn't able to record anywhere else because he was exclusively signed to Ruthless Records, where he couldn't do anything. And it's crazy. If any of you people are out there that still have your vinyls and you have your hardcover CDs, I want you to turn that CD around. If you look at the back, you're going to see executive produced by Suge Knight, but produced by Dr. Dre. You know why? Because he would have had to pay Eazy-E more money if he was the executive. Just entitled. If I remember going to the library and I looked up how Death Row was set up years ago, and I'm like, how is Dr. J the president and not the CEO? It was money purposes on how the way they was going to go around and giving Eazy-E his money. You know, Dre Day makes another Easy payday. Rest in peace to Eazy-E. You know, they had said that Bushwick Bill. My mind's playing tricks on me. This week, Halloween fell on a weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys is trick-or-treating. I remember when that song, this is 91, this is my first year out of high school going into college. I was going into LIU and fuck my shit up. And that song, My Mom's Playing Tricks on Me, came out. And it opened the door, it opened that door a little bit more, other than for the rapper from New Jersey. Other than the rapper from New York and Connecticut and Pennsylvania with the Philadelphia thing, and other than the guys from the West Coast, and other than the guys that was down there in Florida with the 2 Live Crew, that the Ghetto Boys helped open up that South thing that was going on. Right quick before I get out of here, I want to send a shout out to Suave House. I want to send a shout out to 8 Ball and MJG, because I used to listen to them a little bit back in the days, and Outkast and the Goody Mob. You know, shout out to all y'all. Shout outs to everybody, because I'm gonna wrap this up because my fat ass is tired. We'll go my fat ass home. Hopefully next week I have me some artists up here singing and rapping, and I'm happy that I came up here, because, you know, a couple of times I'm like, damn, it ain't nobody up here for me to interview, and I'm a lead, but the boy math like, nigga, get up in here, do your thing, stay fresh, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to get my peoples into these shows and still try to live out my Russell Simmons experience, because Russell, Puff, Suge, I love y'all. Y'all have Barry Gordy, you too, baby. You have inspired me to always want to be a seller of music. I wish my fat ass could sing. I wish my fat ass could play a piano. But as the executive and as the manager, I always try to keep my peoples going and inspire them and say good things to them, and try to keep them inspired and don't give up your dreams. And me well off with myself, not giving up on my dreams and being a screenwriter. You know what I'm saying? I wrote 3 screenplays: Black Raspberry, Emotional Homicide, and Low Blocks. You know what I'm saying? These stories is about people that's been around me, whether it was my mother, I flipped my aunts, I flipped my sister, I flipped this, I just flip it into my own words. But I have definitely used the people that's around me as my inspiration as being a writer, because I'm getting tired of working for the city. And it's about to come to an end, and I want to do something else different. I don't want to work the 62 and be miserable and want to curse out the world and go postal. I don't want to do none of that shit. I just want to do my 25, and hopefully I can do something else. And S.STREET Media might be, you know what I'm saying, lay the pathway down for me to where I need to go. So people, I don't know how Don Cornelius would have said it. Peace, love, and soul. Cut it.